Hello everyone, I feel great today. And today I want to talk about a topic that came up last time, and that was meaning. And I'm really excited to talk about this because this is kind of the core of how you make yourself feel. And last time we talked about focus and how to use that, and also about irrational beliefs. And the question that came up was, what if your beliefs are actually true? For example, you're sitting outside somewhere and people look at you and you can think, okay, maybe I'm just imagining it, but what if they actually really look at you, and what if they actually really judge you negatively? And then the question was like, if that happens, well, there's nothing you can do about it because now I actually proved that it's real. However you did that. The answer to this is, it doesn't really matter, because the way you feel is by the way you attach meaning to events. So even if they think negatively about you, that is not what creates the feeling in you. The feeling that's created in you is about meaning. And so I want to talk about that a little bit and how to shift your current meaning attaching to events and how to use it more positively. And if you think about it, we humans are meaning-making creatures. From a very small age, small children always come and they ask their parents, why is that so? Why is the sky blue? Well, because this and this. Oh, why is that? And why is that? And why is that? And we always ask for the reason behind things. We always try to make meaning out of it. If we don't understand something, we ask why, and we try to make it fit somehow our past experiences and the things we know, so we can somehow make meaning out of it. If we cannot make meaning out of something, it kind of, it jerks with your head a little bit, because you don't know what to do with that. You don't understand it. Right? So, this is the first thing. And there's two types of meaning I want to talk about. First is the meaning that is a pattern of different circumstances. For example, if your parents always are busy and never have time for you, this not just happens once, it happens over a period of time, and they're always busy and they never have time for you, then you might make the meaning out of the whole pattern of behavior that they have. Okay, they're always busy, I'm not important. That's the meaning you made out of all the events, combining all the events, right? And the second type of meaning is the things that happen internally, externally only once, and you make meaning out of the single event. And that could be something as simple as a friend walking into the room but not saying hi to you or not looking at you. So you might make out the meaning, okay, that friend is mad at me, or the friend doesn't like me for some reason, or whatever it is. So patterns of events and internal and external single events. We make meaning out of these things, and most of the time we're not even aware of that, right? And we misjudge the actual reality for the meaning we make out of it. The reality is the person came into the room and didn't say hi. That's the reality. And the thing that we make meaning out, the way that we make meaning out of that is by saying, okay, the person has something against me personally, right? And that's our reality now. And that's how we behave according to that, right? So we might treat that person now as if they actually have something against me. And you might say, instead of saying, hi, how are you doing? Something okay? Are you okay? We might say, well, hi to you too. And we might, have a different demeanor, different tonality of voice, different look. Just because we just made this our reality. The meaning we attached to it made this our reality. And so, the meaning influences your state. Okay? So a person comes in, and then your state shifts. The person doesn't talk to you, and then you perceive him as unfriendly or something else. And that shapes your state, how you currently feel now. And on the other hand, your state shapes your meaning, right? If you're very, very happy and pumped up and those days where it doesn't matter what happens, you feel great. And then you have these other days, doesn't matter how many great things happens, you feel like shit, right? So if you have a strong emotional state, then you judge the meaning differently that you attach, okay? And so what actually makes us attach a meaning? I'm glad you asked. If you think about it, it's the past experiences and beliefs we have that work as a filter for all the events that come into our life. Something happens, we use our filters, we search our memories, our beliefs, everything, and then the event comes through the filter, the memories and beliefs that we have, and then we create a meaning out of that, and the meaning creates a feeling in the body. Okay? And think of it this way. A small child that is born, right, a couple of months old, doesn't know the world, right? It has to experience the whole world. Oh, what is this? Ooh, like, you know, this is this here, and oh, a banana, what can I do? Can I hit you with that? Whatever, they have to explore the world around them. So imagine a small child climbing up on a couch. The small child doesn't know really what a couch is, and also it has no fear of climbing on the edges of the couch because it does not know what falling is. It never fell down in his life. So the child might climb on a couch, and that's also why children, small children, it's very dangerous to leave them alone in dangerous places because they don't perceive the danger, right? They have no meaning attached to the situation. If there's a train coming, the child might walk in front of the train. Why? Because it doesn't know what a train is. It has no meaning, there's no danger to the train, right? So, let's say the small child climbs on the couch, and then on the edge of the couch and it falls down. Now it actually experiences physical pain, right? Now there's emotional state as a result of the child climbing on the couch. So the meaning the child attaches now is like, oh my god, this hurts. Climbing on the couch hurts, right? And now it might attach the meaning to the couch in general or to falling, right? And that meaning results in a certain behavior patterns for the child. The child might now in future always avoid climbing on the edges of the couch or even couches in general. That's how phobias are created, by the way. Alright? It's experiences that shape our beliefs that make us attach meaning to the events that happen in our life. Let me say this again. Experiences that happen to us, right, that create beliefs in ourselves that work to make the meaning out of the events that happen to us. So now the child fell, it hurt himself, and now it has the behavioral pattern of avoiding couches or climbing in the future in general, right? Now there's a meaning attached to couches or to climbing. And now think about your life, right? One instance is enough when you might go up to a person and they reject you, right? You get all your courage, you go and you talk to some person, or you go to this one class that all alone, a sports class, and you're really anxious about it, and you have a negative experience there. What is the meaning you make out of that? And what are the resulting behaviors for your future life? Probably, if it's negative, then you will avoid all future instances that could make you feel this way. And then something called anxiety kicks in. Anxiety is a protection mechanism. Right? The child climbs on the couch and falls down. The mind saved that event. It's like, okay, in future I will protect this child, I will protect myself from climbing on the couches by putting something called anxiety in its body. So whenever the child goes near to the couches, it's like, I need to protect myself, let's kick in this anxiety, and comes out. And the child goes, oh my god, away from couches, I'm afraid. Now in ancient times this made a lot of sense, right? If there was a dinosaur, you don't have time to think about, oh, this is a cute dinosaur. No, you instantly anxiety kicks in. And you have this fear and you start running or hiding or you decide to fight it. Whatever, but instantly it comes there. Now nowadays we live in a society, in a world that is much faster, and we don't need this unconscious process anymore running our lives. They're still here. It's so easy for us to save an event and make a meaning out of that, and then have a resulting pattern of behavior of that. We're programmed to do this, but we can choose how to do this. And it used to be automatic. For most people, it still is. Most people have no clue how to do this, and even they're not aware of when they're doing this. And so very often the event is actually misjudged as the reality that they make in their head. So the meaning you attach in your head is your actual reality, not the event. And you confuse those two things. So And for those people that still don't believe that, it's the event, you know. If something bad happens to me, it's still the event, it's the bad thing that happens to me, and not the meaning I make out of it. Well, let me give you another example. Have you ever watched a horror movie? What's the difference between a horror movie and a comedy? Well, one it makes you feel tense and fear and anxious, and the other one makes you laugh and relax, right? Your body's differently, your mind is differently, you focus on different things, whatever. Now, imagine a horror movie with some comedy aspects in it. Right? If you have a horror movie with some comedy aspects in it, it's less frightening, isn't it? Now imagine a scene where a horror scene. I don't know, have you seen a horror movie, a good one? I can't come up with someone, but let's say there's a zombie, and the zombie wants to eat you, or the person in the movie. And let's say there's very tense music, and it's very dark, and it's very loud, and the angle of the camera is very close, and you see everything, and you start feeling tense. You're like, oh my god, no! Don't go in there, there's a zombie, he wants to eat you, no! Did you not notice, by the way, in horror movies, the person always does the thing that they should not be doing? Like, they go out and then they get eaten, or, you know, it's dark outside and someone knocks on the door and you're like, don't open it, but they go and open it, and then they always die. Maybe not, don't open the door. But anyway, so, you have that event with a zombie, and you look at that and you feel tense and it makes you feel fear. Now imagine the same event, there's again the zombie, and the same person there, the event is exactly the same. But now imagine, instead of having frightening music play in the background, you might have happy birthday in the background. Happy birthday to you. Okay, so the same event with happy birthday music in it. Is it still that frightening? Okay, and now you take happy birthday music, and now you actually zoom out of the camera angle. Like, the thing is still the same, but you zoom out of the camera angle and you make the person and the zombie appear smaller. So now you have happy birthday and a small zombie that looks much smaller than before. Okay? Now what else could you do? Maybe increase the light a little bit. Make the scene a little bit more bright. Right? The scene is still the same, the event is still the same. There's a zombie and he wants to eat you. But now there's happy birthday in the background. The angle is zoomed out, so they appear smaller. You appear to be more far away from the situation, and there's more light. It's still the same event, but the music, right? The music and the light and the angle and so on make you attach a different meaning to the event that you see, to the zombie that wants to eat you. And there's the event, and all the things around the event. You cannot change the event. The things that happen in your life, outside of your control, you cannot change them. The thing you can change is the brightness. You can change the brightness control on your TV, make it brighter, right? You can play music on the background. These are the things you can change. Most people focus on the event, but you cannot change the event. There's been events in your past life that happen. Whoa, sorry. Almost like threw down the thing here. And the things you cannot change. Neither can I. These things happen. There's always going to happen things that we cannot change and they're uncomfortable. But it's not about the events that happen. It's about the meaning we attach to the events and the meaning we can always choose. Okay? And now I ask you, your movie is your life. Do you want to live in a horror movie, or do you want to live in a comedy? Do you want to be anxious and afraid all the time, or do you want to be happy and smiling, relaxed? It's your choice. It's the way you use the control, and you attach the meaning differently of the event that happens. Okay? And now I want you to do a last thing. Every single time something bad happens to you, again, you're gonna ask yourself a certain question. But now I want you to ask a different question and use your focus differently to become aware of the meaning you make of the event, right? If something bad happens in your life, the event you're gonna give to it is, this is a lesson. What can I learn from this? Okay? What can I learn from this that I can apply in the future? How many of you like to learn something? Right? Learning is a good thing, right? You learn something new. You make yourself stronger for the future. Well, bad things always teach us something. Maybe we did something wrong, so we learned, okay, don't do this again, or do it differently. They teach us something. So the meaning of a bad event, if you can learn something out of it, it was worth it. I don't care how bad the event was. If there's something you learned out of that you can apply for your future life, it was worth it. Right? Because you make your life better. If you never had pain in your life, how are you going to appreciate the absent life? Right? If you don't know what to contrast it. You're lucky in a certain way because you experience a lot of pain. So once you get out of the pain, you can appreciate that much more. And you can also appreciate the moment and be more grateful for the things you have. Right? Because you have to hit pain. You have to have pain in your life. It's a good thing. Pain teaches you. And pain also motivates you. If you don't have pain, you're not going to do anything. So it's a good thing. Right? So when something bad happens, you feel pain. Maybe it doesn't feel nice inside of you. But the meaning is a good one. You learn something out of this. How can I apply this in my future life? Now, same thing if you're stuck somewhere, you don't know what to do. You're stuck. You think. Your meaning is like, okay, let's think about this for a second. I'm stuck. I have a certain goal. What is your goal? What do you want to achieve? And then you ask yourself, what are the steps I need to do in order to get there? Right? The next number one step that I could do today, what would it be? Even if it's only that small, that helps you a little bit to get further, to reach your goal. Even if it's that small on this day, you make one little thing every day. And in the end of the year, you make 365 little things. That equals a very, very big thing. So if you're stuck, think about not, oh my God, about giving up, or the meaning of this, that I'm stuck as like, you know, I tried, I failed, and so probably the meaning I should attach is, I should just let it go. No! If that's what most people did, we wouldn't have electricity. You know how many times it took Thomas Edison to actually get the light bulb to work? Many thousand times. And every time it didn't work, he attached a different meaning. It's like, okay, he learned something out of that. Okay, it failed. This is how not to do it. Yes, I learned many, many different ways how not to do things. Good. Now I can take this one out of my notes and I have a different approach. But I already learned that this doesn't work. So good, I learned something new. And eventually, look, we have light, it works. Because he didn't give up, the meaning was different. If he had attached the meaning of, oh, I tried it, it's not possible, like I have to let this go. You won't get anywhere, right? And so when you actually have success, you can also attach a different meaning. And you can attach the meaning of gratefulness, right? When you feel successful and you have some success, think about how you can share that with other people. Right? You have something successful, don't be like, I'm great. It's like, okay, now I'm great. Let me go and help other people become great as well. Let me do something for them as well. Let me see if I can help them. Right? So these three things. Something bad happens, you feel stuck, and something good happens. Think about the meaning you attach to these things. And the way you attach meaning, the way it's going to reflect in the way you feel. Right? And obviously I understand that most beliefs you have about yourself are quite negative. So it will be very hard in the beginning to attach a positive meaning. But little by little, just by changing your meaning a little less, make it a little less negative, a little less negative, a little less negative, you're gonna reach a lot of change in your life. Because if you try to go extremely positive in the beginning, you might not believe it. You're like, yeah, I'm just telling myself this, but I don't feel it. And it's very hard to take giant leaps to one step. Start like this, and you're gonna reach it, okay? And you combine that with all the other things I'm gonna talk later, and later I'm gonna give you some external things you can do. And I will actually, in the summer, I think June, July, I will actually go out and show you a lot of things that I teach you, and I will show them to you applied in real life, meeting new people, you know. How do I attach a meaning there, and how do I do things there? I'm gonna give you this also around in a couple of months, so stay tuned for that. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something out of that. I hope you gave it a good meaning. And man, stay on track, right? Stay on track, and you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. Until then, Initialife, and have a great day, right? See you.